Let's lead. Let's ride. Unify leadership. Light that flame, turn it up loud, remember the name. Leadership. Power and pride, we don't just talk, we testify. Leadership. Heart and grind, purpose and rhythm, perfectly timed. Bass hit heavy, croppers and rhythm, purpose and rhythm, perfectly timed. Bass hit heavy, crowd on sway. Culture clay, truth and play. Sifu Rafael, calm control, leaders in sync. Hearts gold, focus sharp, the mission clear. Every step forward, silence the fear. Discipline dripping, confidence, how we move together, we amplify. Who we are, unified. What we lead, unified. Stand tall, unified. Every time, unified leadership. Raise that bar, leaders in rhythm, born to spar. Raise that bar, leaders in rhythm, born to spar. Steady and true, the sound of the few that follow new. Strong alive, this is the beat where leaders thrive. Unified leadership.
Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Wow, an incredible day, as it is every day. So today we are going to be talking about freedom through leadership. We just celebrated 250 years of freedom. Freedom is one of the most powerful words in our history. Who wasn't excited, right? Let me know in the comments how excited were you to celebrate 250 years of freedom. But the real truth is, are we really free? Is everyone free? And even though it's such a powerful word, not everyone is free. But I want to talk to you guys about that today. So I want to ask you a question, if you can. I would love to hear some replies back in the comments. And yeah, good morning, Stacy. Thank you for joining us this morning. Yes, happy to have you. And so, are you free as a leader? That's the question I have for you today. Are you free as a leader? Not politically, personally, professionally, emotionally. I've met so many CEOs trapped by fear, business owners trapped by their own success, even parents. Parents are trapped by guilt. I don't know why they're trapped by guilt, but they are. Managers trapped by the need to be liked. So think about this for a minute. Titles don't make you free. They don't. Leadership does. How you are a leader determines the freedom that you have. So what does freedom really mean? When you hear the phrase freedom through leadership, what are your thoughts? You're listening to me, right? Good morning, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Joining me at the moment, right? I'm not sure where my co-host is at the moment or my guest, but here I am. I always show up. You know what it is? I'm consistent, and you guys will get to know that about me. I am consistently here, no matter what, right? So, and things come up all the time, right? I know Coach T.O.'s having construction done in his house, so that may hinder his possibility of being here with us today. But that doesn't stop us from going live. So freedom through leadership. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear that, when you read that? Freedom through leadership. How do we even establish leadership and be free at the same time? So Coach T.O. Clay is coming on. Yes, excited. Come on, brother. I know you're having construction going on, so I'm happy you're here.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to be here too, bro. Good to see you this morning.
Yes, sir.
It's just always a blessing, man. My wife was like, "Hey, Sifu's gonna kill you. You better hurry. You better hurry." And I had to get this coffee, man. I had to.
I hear you.
It's
Coffee makes the world go.
I needed it, bro. And I hate saying that, man, because caffeine is caffeine, but I love a good morning, coffee, man. That's something for years I've always uh used as a little bit of extra mojo. So how you feeling this morning, brother?
Yeah, man. So let me ask you, Coach T.O,
Yeah,
what does freedom through leadership mean for you? Because the word freedom is such a powerful word, yet,
right.
and we've spoken about this in the past, not everybody's free.
Man, freedom, that brings so much thought for me personally. Seafood. And for everyone out there, I see Stacy Jones. Shout out to
Yeah.
Stacy. Looking forward to meeting you in person as well, Stacy. I got your message. We'll be linking up soon and collectively as a
You did meet
family.
her in person in Philly. You,
We probably did.
it was
We
so
pro-
fast. It was so fast
yeah,
for sure.
right.
We're
We
gonna get to
probably
see her in Virginia, which is gonna be powerful.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
she's coming to Atlanta, which is
Okay.
that's
That's
gonna be
even
more intimate. That's gonna be where we really get down to the nitty-gritty. And
yeah.
Stacy, we would love to have you join us August 21st for
Oh
the
yeah.
summit we're having.
Oh
Absolutely,
yeah.
we'd love to have you. And I love what she talked about. I enjoy being free to do things differently as an entrepreneur. Yes, absolutely. And think
Yes.
about that, right? That's an important part.
It really is, man. And shout out to my brother Teddy. It's good to
Yeah,
see you.
Teddy.
I see his comment, freedom through leadership for me is being able to actually realize that God has blessed us all to be able to something meaningful for the better in our
Able to
lives.
be more meaningful for the better.
In our
Let
lives.
me,
Okay. Yeah,
yeah,
I was looking at it in the chat and there's a little sign in there
better in our lives. Yeah, sometimes
covering
it
up
doesn't come
more.
through fully.
Yeah, but I see it
So
on the stage. But yeah, so for those individuals as well as other individuals that's out there this morning, up bright and early, showing much love to us and dialed in freedom, man. I'm black. I'm African American. Sifu, as you know. Um, and when you start thinking about freedom, for me as an African American man, a melanated man, a black man, an original man, it's like, man, yeah, I find myself sitting with my sons a lot. They're 16 and 12, and they see these things that's happening all over the world and identifying themselves as who they are. They have a lot of questions, man. You know,
we
4th of
do.
July, we're sitting there watching the fireworks. You know, like I say, outskirts of Atlanta, it's a city called Snellville, and you know, it's massive of people. And what's going through my mind, Sifu, is from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. We fight our country's battles in the air, on land, and sea. First
Wow.
to fight
Yeah,
for rights and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marines. And it continues on, but
yeah,
that's
man.
what's that's what's going through my mind.
I
You
hear you.
know, I'm sure my 12-year-old, he's thinking about, wow, there's beautiful, amazing fireworks in the air, just like when we were 12. My 16-year-old, he's looking at all the girls, all the young girls walking up and down the street, and like I said, massive people. I know what's on his mind, looking at his high school friends and all that. But overall, I know my wife is thinking, you know, the same thing, you know, from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, because she's fallen. So freedom, uh, makes me think of my grandmother. Uh, Shout out to Grandma Lucas. She was like almost 100, you know, when I remembered her at like 8 or 9, and she was a slave, bro. You know, my father, all my uncles, aunts, they all talk about how she came from slavery, uh, built her own home, tended to our own farm and had mules and all these other things, and how stern and hard she was on them when they were kids. So it's freedom is a stretch for me, bro. I don't just see it as physical freedom either. I see it as free of the mind too. I was addicted to drugs at one time in my life, Sifu, and I was broken free from that bondage. So, the freedom to me is free dome, the head shaped like a dome. I have a free dome. So I get real excited when I think about that word, bro. How about you, man? How you feel about freedom, bro?
Um, I'm Colombian, so I know a lot of people see me as a white guy. I don't classify myself as white, Spanish, or anything else. I classify myself as God's son,
Yeah, man.
and and that alone has given me the freedom to love everyone around me. And I've been people have tried to make me guilty of loving other people,
Yeah.
of saying, man, you love everybody. I even love the people who hurt me. They're like, you're crazy, Sifu. And
Yeah,
I say,
man.
you know what? God said it. Turn your other cheek.
Yeah.
Because man cannot hurt me.
Mm.
And that's the freedom that defines me. No one in this world can hurt me. I only obey God.
That's powerful.
I every day I wake up with gratitude. The freedom to breathe
Mm.
was given to me by God, not by man. Right. So for me, freedom is very deep. Yeah, when I came to this country, listen, because I didn't speak the language, I already was chastised immediately. I was bullied. I was made fun of. The way I spoke was made fun of. The fact that I didn't have the right clothes. I had hand-me-downs because I'm number 10 of 12 kids. I had
Mm.
hand-me-downs growing up. So for me, to be honest with you, freedom is not money.
That's right.
Freedom is the biggest reward of living and living true to me. I don't have to impress other people. And I know there's a lot of people out there who they like material things and status and all this stuff. That really does nothing for me. What? We have another powerhouse coming in the house. Ready? Are you ready for this? Renee's in the house.
Good
Woo!
Hey, what
morning.
up,
Renee,
Good
Renee?
good
morning.
morning. So
Good
happy you
morning.
made it with us. Excited for us now that you're here. So if you don't mind, let me just tap into what I just finished saying. That for me, freedom is the ability to help others,
Yeah.
the ability to help someone else see that God is looking down upon them, not in a bad way, but in a positive way to lift them up. So freedom for me is the ability to help my fellow human, my brothers and my sisters. This is why I can call you Coach T.O. Clay, my brother. And
That's right.
and you know me, man. I'm a hugger, man. I'm gonna
Yeah,
give you
bro.
tons of hugs. And Renee,
Yeah.
you're my sister, and I love you both so much that it
Love you too, man.
the freedom to love, nobody can take that away from you. The only person that stands in your way is the person that's looking back in the mirror. That's the person that takes your freedom away. That's the only person. Look at Mandela, right? Incarcerated 27 years. Was the man free? You better believe he was free.
Yeah.
He changed our world. He changed the way we perceive things because of his freedom. He may have been locked up. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit later about that. Is it okay if I share something before we even let Renee come in the room? So
Please.
I want to share this with you guys because to me, this is just powerful. And if you're not with us, we're going to miss you. But take a look.
Let's get after this. Hey, hey. Leadership isn't a title. Hey, pressure makes leaders. Hey. Unified leadership. Hey, hey. Unified leadership.
Pressure makes leaders. Fire reveals truth. Forged in the struggle, built to break through. Unified leadership. We stand when it's hard. Different voices, one vision. Together we spar. Built through connection, stronger as one. Changing tomorrow by what we've begun.
Unified leadership. Feel the fire ignite. When leaders unite, the future burns bright. Sifu Rafael with the vision and voice. Built through discipline, pressure and choice. Coach T.O. Clay, battle tested and tried, turning trials into purpose, helping leaders rise. Pressure
Doesn't break you,
it reveals you.
you are the steel. Pressure makes leader, 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 leader.
Unified leadership. Raise the bar. Raise the bar. Unified leadership.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. Renee,
Go.
good morning.
Good morning. That always energizes me. It's like fuel. And coming fresh from the gym, I am excited, energized to be part of this conversation. When I think about freedom, it was not something that was just given. It was something that people before me paid for, and I don't take it lightly. So I am standing on the shoulders, walking in the footprints of people who loved, who had conviction, who had courage, who wanted better for not just for themselves, but for everyone. And that's freedom is love. Having the freedom to love everyone, regardless of their color, regardless of where they came from. And that's what freedom is to me. And the piece of freedom that we can, I guess, imprison ourselves is in our minds. When we have that limitation that keeps us small, that puts a limitation or judgment on someone else. And so freedom starts within. And the freedom that we experience within is an extension of what happens outside of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that you said standing on the shoulders of, the ancestors or,
Mhm.
individuals that came before you, because when you really start digging into that lane
Mhm.
of your family, man, there's some powerful people in your family, Renee, without even me personally knowing. I know there's some powerful people that came before you, traditions, leadership, aspiration, accomplishments, so many great things that was placed into you, via the individuals who brought you into this world in whichever kind of way, whether that was your grandmother, grandfather, mom, dad, aunts, uncles, cousins, the neighbors across the street, or whatever the case. We're made up of so many different realities, Sifu, Renee, and when I wrote Here to There, Prodigal and Back book, you could ask Dr. Reed. I would stress to him all the time, like, man, I care about what Miss Barbara Haley across the street from us is going to think if she reads this book. I care about Miss Charlene, a friend I grew up with that passed away, Myron Gentry's mother. A gentleman I played ball with all the time, Dante Gay. Just the people, that helped shape and mold me, man. I cared about, man, how will they receive this? Because I saw them display leadership in their own way.
Mhm.
We were telling our sons last night, the wife and I, We were in I think it was Marshalls or TJ Maxx, one of those the other day, and we bought them some pillows. And my youngest son, he's 12, man, so he just does crazy stuff. You know, there's 3 days went by, you all, and he's got the pillows still in the plastic on the floor in his room. And my wife got after him and was like, you know, I bought you these pillows. You take them out, put them on the bed, all that good stuff. But the point of the story was we were talking about how it was when we grew up, man. Like we didn't get to pick $60 pillows. You know what I'm saying? You got the pillow that was given to you, like, and that may have been passed down from two or three siblings or cousins. And I said, man, them old hard pillows with those feathers in it, you got feathers sticking you in your face while you sleep. And they was just looking at us like, wow. But you know, like I said, the point of that is just knowing that, man, you know, freedom means a lot. Freedom, oh my God, man. I can't even begin to crack that one. Because Sifu, man, just hearing you talk about Colombia, hearing you talking about being one of 12, bro. One of 12, I can only imagine things that you could think of, you know, just as a child, man. The hardships and the leadership that you had to learn on your own, just within that environment of you know your siblings. I'm sure some of them much older than you were gone early on in your life, but man, these topics, man, by the week they get heavy, man. It brings out a lot of raw emotion.
Absolutely. You know, consider what we all stand for, right? Not only freedom but leadership, right? And I want to touch upon something, and I'd love to get your opinions on this. Is leadership either liberates or imprisons us? It imprisons us if we're not careful with it, right? Because listen, I've watched people spend years building businesses only to become the prisoners inside of them. I can't do this, I can't do that. I especially like restaurant owners, they're in at 3, 4 in the morning, they're done at 12 at night, and then they start again the next day and the next day, and they're exhausted.
Yeah.
And because they think they have to touch every little aspect of it and they don't know how to delegate. So what kind of a leader are you being if you're building this business, but you're not looking at the whole component of the business? Listen, I've watched parents sacrifice everything and yet lose who they were as a person.
Yeah.
They do everything for their children and nothing for themselves. I've watched executives become slaves to their calendars.
Yeah.
And their expectations. Everything has a price. If you're a great leader, you know how to delegate as well. So everybody's opinion, everybody has one. But leadership should expand your life, not shrink it. So let me ask you guys, have you ever built something that eventually started controlling you? I'm not just asking Renee and Coach T.O. I'm asking everybody who's on with us. You can chime in, put it in the chat. Have you ever built something that encompassed you and didn't give you the freedom you thought you were going to have? Because I've seen it. I've seen people say, man, that guy, he is a great business owner, this, that, the other, but they don't know what he went through or she went through. But they want what's only on the outside. They don't know the inside. They don't know how to walk in somebody else's shoes anyways, because they only look at the cream. They don't know what's underneath.
That is, wow. When you asked that question, Sifu, you were all over it in my seat. And I was kind of looking back. I was like, is Sifu like right in the chair spying on me? It resonated so much because it was most of how I showed up throughout my career. And it's because I had strong leaders in my family, and work ethic was something that you show up with excellence. And when you go somewhere, you are not just representing yourself, you are representing the family. And so how you show up matters. And because of that, I always took to heart when I'm working on something, regardless if I liked the job or what I was doing, you always show up with excellence and remember that you're standing in someone else's footprints. And so I didn't feel like I had the luxury. No, I didn't have the luxury because someone didn't have a seat, because I had the seat. And I wanted to make sure that now that I was there, that I continue to earn it. And sometimes that mindset gets in there. It's like you already have the degrees, the credentials, but there's this piece in your mind that says, that imprisons you and say, hey, you don't deserve to be here. So you got to do more. You got to do more. You got to do more. And eventually that mindset becomes, you normalize that dysfunction, and then you start operating in a way that is not meant to be sustained. So you're operating in a space of, from trauma. You've normalized trauma, something that was meant to be good, to fuel you, to help you show up in a certain way. Now you've taken it to another level. And so you start doing, and you become the action versus understanding that who you are is a part of that. And if those two are in alignment, eventually you're going to break up, or you're going to fall, you're going to collapse. Something is going to happen because it's not sustainable. And when you know true freedom of leadership, your who and what you do work together. But having a strong foundation of knowing who you are, what you bring to the table, is the piece that gives you the freedom to lead with passion, clarity, purpose, and power. If you don't, no one will want to follow you because you are just doing things. You are not a leader.
Absolutely. Love that.
Have you all ever heard the term slave to the rhythm?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that's what was going through my spirit, man. How many times as a Marine I said, man, I feel like a slave to the rhythm. And it was usually things that I feel like could have been avoided, that I found myself dealing with or having to be heavily involved with, that required my attention towards that took away from the other things that I need to be paying attention to. Excuse me. So I would always, in the latter portion of my career, oh man, I would get angry, man. It would be times I'd have to sit in the car. These are things I talked to my therapist about today. Me and my therapist, we have a strange relationship because my therapist never served as a Marine. My therapist is trained to do exactly what he does, but he's not a Marine. But what I love about my therapist is he's open enough to say, hey, no, I'm not a Marine, but I'm trained in dealing with the things that shape you as a Marine, the good things, the bad things, the things you quite may not understand. So when I think of that freedom of leadership, I believe that all people have a choice, Renee, Sifu. And what do I mean by that? I believe that you have a certain freedom of choice to be the type of leader that you're going to be.
That's right.
And I think for myself, going back to those family values, like you said, Renee, I'm a clay man. Hey, make the name proud, or whatever the case may be. a lot of uncles and aunts and many different people that, worked hard over the years. But I still believe that freedom of, you know, getting to that point of burnout. Like you said, Sifu, as a business owner, restaurant owner, people don't see that dark side of it. They just see what's presented on the table, the smell, the ambiance of the restaurant. But what they're not seeing is that dark side behind the curtain. Same thing as a Marine, I'm sure within you all spaces as well. And I think, the central theme and point for me is just that freedom, man. This is live, man. This is not scripted. We're not sitting here studying freedom of leadership for the last 3 days to come on here. It brings about so much emotion because one thing I understood was the sacrifice, man. So I knew my time wasn't free. I knew in charge, at the top of the threshold, as you would call it, top of the ladder, I knew I don't have the same type of liberties that everyone else has as a leader. And it sucks, but it won't last always. And a lot of times that's what pushed me. I know it pushed a lot of my partners and friends because we would talk about it. Like, bro, it ain't gonna last always. How many more years you got before you retire? Oh man, you're on the downslope. You got 3 months left before you leave this unit and go to another unit, which may be better than this particular unit because it feels like you're the only one that's putting in any type of real work around here, which is never true. But somebody once said the same phrase, man. Somebody once said, man, you're a slave to the rhythm. And that could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing, man.
Correct. Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy.
I am a slave to the rhythm when it comes to music, though.
How so, though? How so? How so?
Oh man, music just moves me. I have no control. I have zero control. It just moves me. And it doesn't matter the kind of music. The only music that doesn't move me, actually it does move me. I'm gonna be honest. It does move me. It moves me away from it. And that's the screaming music, right? The one where they're just, I guess it's heavy metal or whatever you call that, where they're just
Yeah.
yeah, I can't listen to that, right? And so it does move me. It moves me away from it. So see, I am slave to the rhythm. But we're talking about freedom through leadership. But a lot of people don't understand freedom because they expect things until they are imprisoned. A lot of people don't understand that, right? So they are prisoned within walls, right? So what I mean is that there's walls in a prison and you're stuck. You can't get out. You can't go somewhere. But then there's prisons that nobody sees. Think about this for a minute.
Wow.
Nobody sees some of the prisons people are in. And allow me to give you some insight as to what I'm saying, right? I'm speaking about fear. That's a prison. Approval from others. That's a prison.
Yeah, man.
Comfort is the easiest prison to get into. Your ego, perfectionism, that is a prison that really holds on to somebody. And the one that a lot of people even don't realize is their past failures, because they keep harping on them instead of letting go and moving and learning from those failures. They keep going, I'm a failure, I did this wrong, I did that wrong. Instead of saying, yes, that's my past, let me move forward with my future. So I just mentioned the different prisons that we don't see, but we may be feeling. So I'm going to ask everybody who's either watching us, you watch this later on the replay, and I'm asking you guys as well. What's the invisible prison that you see leaders living in most often?
Ooh. The one that comes to mind for me is the limitation, a ceiling on what is possible, what you can do. You often hear, oh, well, this is the way we do it. Yes, there's a standard, there are processes, and thinking about, well, maybe there is more than one way to do that. And because if we limit or imprison ourselves to thinking that this is the way it should always be done, that limitation imprisons us from progress. And we know some companies, large companies, who are no longer around because they wanted to die on that hill of this is the way it should always be. And with AI, with technology, with things continuing to shift, we have to shift and adopt our thinking to that. The other piece is there's this limitation on how you can show up in a room, and it's waiting for validation, it's waiting for someone to give you approval, have an idea. And the greatest gift that employees and leaders can give to corporations is being fully present in those moments, not waiting for someone to spoon feed you what you should say, what you should think. Know that you are in the room, you are in the seat for a reason, and your silence is costly. What you don't say may cost a company millions. You have the idea, but you're waiting for permission or approval for someone to agree with you. But some of the best leaders, some of the most successful people are those agitators who go against the grain, who have those ideas that no one else thought of. And I would say that's some of the things that I see that imprisons people, leaders specifically.
I love the thing that Steve Jobs, he did a commercial on. It said it's the crazy ones who lead the world, right? The ones who are thinking out of the box, the ones who don't stay confined. So yeah, love that. Your thoughts, Coach T.O. What's the invisible prison that some leaders are living in, and they don't realize
Um, I I'm writing things down, man, and
it? Absolutely.
ego is a big one,
Yeah.
especially with the society today. We live in a society that people see it how they see it. I'll tell you briefly the way I see it as a coach through a coach's lens. I see it like some people don't want to get better. Some people do not want to be coached. Some people do not want to be led. I'm not saying all people, Sifu Renee, no, but a lot of people don't until it's too late, until they realize that, man, I'm at wit's end. I need something, because we all know as entrepreneurs that pain point, that struggle. And when you find yourself as a coach, as a leader, seeing it, and it's like you walk into a doctor's office and the doctor knows exactly how he could help you or she could help you, i.e. via medication or giving you some fit bands to help you stretch because your back is aching, whatever it may be. I feel like a lot of times with leaders, the ego starts to get in the way. That little saboteur voice. I still to this day, man, I love Shazad Shamin in the course that I took with him, with Dr. Myron Edmonds. It's neurological. It really is. Your brainstem it comes down like a Y. It comes down like a upside down Y. Your thought could either go saboteur or your thought can go sage. SAGE, sage, love. And
Wisdom.
that,
Yeah.
yeah, wisdom. Oh, my ego's getting in the way. Oh, I should say something because I know that's wrong.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of times it's us that we allow, you know, the sage to be blocked, and it could be a saboteur thought. And it's neurological. It really is. It's scientific. And studying the brain and how we think and the decisions that we choose to make. So I wrote down ego, fear, the past, integrity. You know, what imprisons leaders? Integrity is a big one. That's a big one, bro. Just pure integrity, you all.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care where you work. I don't care how long you've been leading. I don't care what others think of you and how great and you think your poo-poo don't stink like everybody else. The reality is, if your integrity is flawed, you are hurting a lot of individuals around you, even if they don't see it. Sifu, freedom of leadership, that's a big one, even if they don't see it. Because we all know, and for the listeners out there rocking with this, whether you're hearing it, whether you're visually watching it right now, whatever that imprisonment is for you, if it's integrity, if you're cheating on your wife, you're cheating on your husband, but you show up to work on time every day. You're locked in. I'm telling you, man, Babylon will fall. It's going to fall. If you're stealing from the company and you've been getting away with it for years, Babylon will fall. So when I think of that imprisonment, you said it, Sifu. You hit it right on the nose. Some don't even realize they're in the imprisonment. They don't even see it. It's sentimental for me because I had leaders directly in charge of me that I would be sitting there zoned out in their office looking at them. And I knew, man, you're cheating on your old lady, bro. But you're gonna go out here in front of all these Marines talking about, you know, honor and courage and commitment. But you're cheating on your wife, bro. If you can't do it with your wife, I mean, let's be honest here.
Oh,
Come
yeah.
on. So I think that imprisonment stretches pretty wide, but ego's a big one, man. What because hey, we're not unified leadership. We're perfect. Everybody else is screwed up. What is mine? What is my imprisonment? My imprisonment, I believe, is, oh man, I don't think it's ego. I don't think it's fear. I don't think it's the past. I think Timothy Clay, T.O. I think my biggest imprisonment a lot of times is I don't know how to say no all the time and helping others. It's like you help others to a point where it hurts yourself.
Yeah.
That's I know for sure, Seafood. That's my imprisonment. Because I feel like, man, none of this material stuff is going to go with me when I'm gone. No money can come with me when I'm gone. All I can do is leave it behind to my children or whatever. But being able to say no in a way that I could sleep with, being able to say no in a way that, man, I love my mother, but I don't know how to really tell my mother no. So that's my imprisonment, man.
Oh,
And I need y'all help with that. Help me with that. Whatever
Hey, I'm
y'all
going to
see,
tell you,
help me
don't
with that.
say no to your mother. Don't say no.
But real talk though, and shout out
Yeah,
to
real
Teddy.
talk.
Teddy was just with my mother, like a Sunday ago or 2 Sundays ago. Teddy came by the church with my mom. There's a picture out there right now. Teddy standing beside my mom and another beautiful young lady. But it's not negative though. It's not like my mom is doing crazy stuff and then coming to me to bail her out. It's not that. I don't know how to tell my mom no. And sometimes it could be things that if I tell my mom no, it's for the betterment of my dad. So it goes deeper than the surface. And you met my dad, Sifu, my pops
Oh, yeah.
from down in Florida. So sometimes my dad might make a decision, but I can see the look in my mother's face of how it's affecting her.
Right.
And I could go to my dad and boop, 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 boop. But yeah. But I don't want to take things in that direction, man. I'm just
No, but think
a
about the freedom, right? That you in order to say no, you have to say yes to something else. So when you say
right.
yes to your mom, you had to say no to something else.
Yeah.
And every decision, every decision has a consequence.
Right.
Every single decision. So let's because we are talking about freedom. There was a decision made, and the reason we just celebrated 250 years of freedom is because of the Declaration of Independence. Every one of the gentlemen that signed that declaration was willing to give up their life for freedom, for the freedom they didn't have, and for the freedom not of themselves alone. They did it for everyone else with the thought that by signing this document, I just put a license to kill on my head for others to come get me. And that was a big decision. When they signed that independence, that Declaration of Independence, they said, you know what? In order for freedom to prevail, we have to put our lives on. And this is why we can celebrate 250 years of independence. Notice the word is different, is not 250 years of freedom, but in reality is independence. Because I said in the beginning of the show, not everybody in this world is free.
Right.
Sometimes you imprison yourself, and we talked about that. So at some point, you declare your independence from fear, from limitations, like Renee say, from comparison. How many people are comparing themselves to other people, to a celebrity, to somebody they've never even met? They're comparing themselves. They want to be like them. Cut that crap out, people. Be you. God made you beautiful.
Yeah.
From people pleasing. Why do you need to please others? Please God. And in pleasing God, whether you know it or not, you're going to please so many more.
Yeah.
And from the opinions of people who don't even know you. They're not carrying your responsibilities. Think about our culture. Our culture truly, truly gets this backwards. Freedom isn't doing whatever you want, whenever you want. Freedom is becoming the kind of person who can do what must be done. Coach T.O, we've been talking about freedom. But with freedom, there has to be responsibility. And some people don't realize that. What are your thoughts on that? And then Renee after that.
Yeah. The illities, man. That's something I love to talk about. I love talking about the illities, responsibility, accountability, durability. You can name billions of them. And I think, it comes along with those attributes for so many several reasons, Sifu. There's a reality check, man, that must happen every single morning, regardless of who you are. You know, Renee's fresh from the gym. She got a reality check. Whether she was running, jogging, walking, lifting, calisthenics, she got a reality check within her mind, her spirit, and her heart this morning. Same with you, Sifu. I know you got it in sometime this morning,
Yeah.
but it could be as simple as looking in the mirror, is all I'm saying. When we look in the mirror, brush your teeth, you know, shave, whatever it is you got to do, put on some eyeliner, mascara, whatever. When you look in the mirror, are you really seeing yourself every day? Not you know, uh, coming back from the dream. I'm talking every single day, looking at yourself, saying, "Man, what's imprisoning me? How can I improve?" You have to want to do that. You have to sort of man, woman handle yourself, and get help from others. You know, I've helped right now. I got a lot of notes from this morning with you all. Like I said, man, I can sit here and talk coach all day. Who's coaching me though? I can sit here and talk all day, but who's listening, you know, to me, or who am I listening to? So yeah, Seafood, just to answer your question directly, man, I know freedom of leadership starts within. Once again, you can't avoid it, man. We have so many beautiful, amazing topics in the society that we're in. I think people, Seafood, excuse me, to include myself, we could tend to have uh short fused attention spans. You know, people don't want you got freedom of choice of everything at your fingertips nowadays. You got Renee, we got Chat GPT, we got Claude, Seafood, we got Instagram. Well, I don't like Instagram, I like YouTube. You know, there's people that have come on our live, and they'll see this Louisville Cardinal, and they'll be like, "Oh, I'm a Kentucky fan. I'm not watching them," and they clicking off of it. They won't like me, like literally like me, Seafood, because I love the Louisville Cardinals. Excuse me. That's the society we're in. I had a gentleman, I was talking about you one day, Seafood, and he was like, so what does he do? Karate, kung fu. He wanted to know the specific type of martial arts that you do. And I was like, he's kung fu. And he's like, oh, okay. But I know he doesn't do kung fu. He's more karate. He's karate. So all I'm saying is, man, is in my parting words, because I know we're gonna be closing this out of here. I love you, Renee. I'm happy you're here. I love your leadership. I love how you teach your leadership, your authenticity. I love having these dialogues with you because you make me think outside of the box. You make me think about things I may not have been thinking about. Um, and I love you, Sifu. Um, some people that start with us at the top of the hour, they can't finish it out throughout the whole hour, the duration. But they were able to attract, you know, likes, I would say. They took away something because I know I did. And Sifu, every week, man, you're challenging us with these topics, bro. If you're in this leadership think tank, unified leadership, you better come ready. Because again, when I think of freedom, man, it's like, wow, bro, like I've been locked up. And, you know, I know what it feels like being in back of a cop car with cuffs on, not for a simple parking ticket either. You know, like, yo, I don't know when I'm getting out. And you have to look in that little rusty mirror in the pod and figure out who you are. So I would encourage anyone today, if you see the last piece of this, or if you see the beginning or the middle segment, um, what is imprisoning you? What's the imprisonment for you? You have to first speak it out loud. And you have to take ownership of that, you know, and seek, you know, others that can help you, man. If you want to get beyond that. So that's my parting words. I'll pass the mic to Sister Renee.
Well, how do I follow that Coach T.O. I mean, always the strong, powerful nuggets. It's those pieces of being able to just be real. And I think when we give ourselves permission just to be that, I'm in the process of getting out of prison. For so long, I lived and I normalized that mindset when you mentioned kind of the saboteurs. Well, I'm looking to channel my inner sage daily, but it takes a decision. I don't
Yeah.
just magically wake up. Even as a coach, I there are some days where I don't have it. I can't talk you off the ledge. I need to tap into my power
Mm.
source. My first
Wow.
power source is I'm connected to my heavenly Father, a higher power
Mm.
that channels me. That's first and foremost when I can't do it. But then I have a community of people that I can reach out to when I can't. They can, and they recognize it. Sometimes I don't even have to say a word is I can't pour today. I need to be filled. And in the past, I wouldn't ask. I would struggle because I felt being a strong, powerful leader meant not needing help, not having to ask. But now the strength comes from asking. I know the limitation. And I believe that God puts us in spaces and places and surround us with the right people at the right time so that we can pour into each other. So when my cup is empty, it gets filled. And then now my responsibility, I'm gonna pour it for someone else. And
Right.
so when we have that unity, that's what unified leadership brings. It gives us the ability to keep pouring. It's not we're just coming to get our vessel filled, is you get filled and you pour, and that cycle continues. So I don't always feel free, but that's a decision. Yes, there are people, there are situations in our community that I can't control. But what I can do is I can choose if I'm going to do something about it. If I sit in my seat and complain, oh, we can't do this and oh, this, I'm a part of the problem. If it's a problem and it bothers me, I can either choose to be a part of it and sit and wait for someone else, or I can choose and decide to do something. Everything matters. One person can make a difference. And I believe in choosing myself daily and choosing to make a difference in the world. It matters. And it's creating freedom for someone else. That one drop has an impact.
That's powerful. You
Yeah.
made me
Yeah.
think of right, pouring from your bucket when it's full to help others, and then emptying it out so you can get refilled again. But I'm also thinking of the people who, once their bucket gets full, they cap it. So because they want to hold on to it, they don't want to share it, and
Mhm.
yet they don't get new knowledge, new opportunities. It doesn't happen. And so those are the kind of leaders who never go to more schooling, more knowledge, more acquisitions, all these different things, and they get stagnant and they wonder why their life is plateaued. So, and Coach Theo, you also mentioned the thoughts in your head. So even sitting in the back of a police car, the voice inside your head, right? The thoughts that are going through it, right? It's so surreal. So both of you help leaders find their voice. You definitely do. And I love that about you both. But how many talented people have never reached their full potential because the loudest voice they have in their head is self doubt? Self doubt. That is a freedom killer
Yes.
to me. Self doubt.
Yeah,
So
it is, man.
I know we're getting to the end of the show, but man, powerful stuff. So think about this. Every leader serves someone. And if you only serve this one, hmm, it does start with us, but we got to serve others. So we may serve someone else. And the more we serve others, the more others will help serve us. Right?
Right.
Imagine I went to a restaurant once, really quick story. And it was an Ethiopian restaurant, and it was beautiful. The artwork it was beautiful. And the waitress came, it was 28 of us. The waitress came and took everybody's order, and then we didn't see her. Where is she? Where is she? Every 20 minutes, she would come out. Water, water. And we're like, yeah, how about the food? Oh, it's coming, it's coming. We found out she was also the one cooking it. So we ate 2.5 hours later.
Wow.
2.5 hours after we took our order. The reason we stayed is for one reason, to support her. And because we had great conversations. Don't get me wrong. There was some people were like, oh my God, can't wait for the food. I heard the food is here is really good. But guess what? When the food did come, it was amazing. But because we were patient and we found out that she was the one cooking all the food, taking the orders, washing the dishes, doing everything. It was a one-person shop. And this poor woman would have lost 28 people eating at her restaurant if we didn't have the know-how as leaders to say, you know what? We're going to support her.
Right.
Right? So think about the freedom that we gave her to be able to shine who she was. Now, she needed help, but her problem, like you said, Renee, is not knowing how to ask. And so freedom doesn't remove responsibility. Freedom, are you ready for this? Freedom clarifies it.
Mm.
When you stop asking, what do I feel like doing? And better yet, you start asking, what does this moment require of me? That's leadership. What does this moment require of me?
Yeah.
So I don't judge leaders by how many people follow them and their outfits. I judge them based on how they lead others, how they create other leaders.
Yeah.
That's how I can see a true leader. A true leader doesn't just have followers. They have followers who are becoming leaders. So they're training the next level of leaders. And that's why I love you both, because we're in this together and we're training other people to become the leaders they need to be.
Yeah,
That's my
bro.
2 cents.
And being able to accept the fruits of it. The fruits of that. Some people can't accept. They create another leader, but they can't accept when that leader supersedes. Whereas I believe you two amazing individuals, you feel good. You feel mission accomplished when
Mm.
someone that you've been leading supersedes because you still understand who you are. And some people deal with that identity issue of I don't want T.O. Clay and Sifu to be bigger than me. I don't want Renee to have all the shine. I trained her. I showed her how to be great. No, you just helped along the way. She was already great. So it's being able to accept as well. It's being able to accept and again, how do we see these concepts so fluid? Seafood is because we love God. Renee,
do.
it's because we love God and we know God is in control. God is the reason for our season. He's all things. So I think if you're struggling on the fence, there's that leader out there that, man, they're stepping on my toes. I do hate on Sifu when I see Sifu, doing all these amazing things. I do hate on him privately.
No,
I,
you
I
don't.
would, I would,
You
I
love
would,
her.
I would summon you to again ask if God is hating on you. Does God hate on you for your accomplishments?
Never. You
Never.
love her.
Never will the Lord ever hate on you for your accomplishments. And you'll be the first one saying, thank you, Lord. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I got this check in the mail on Friday. Oh
Yeah.
my God. You'll be the first one saying it, but you'll turn around and see another individual having success or your neighbor getting that check and they doing cartwheels in their front yard and you'll be hating on them. God doesn't hate on you. Don't hate on others. Join them, uplift them like you did in the restaurant with the lady. You all brought freedom out of her. So great topic today, man. I love you all so much. I love you all.
We love
And
you.
I just want to say that I changed the exit, the outro, because it's going to be our commercial. We need everybody to join us August 21st. So listen, every topic is based on leadership. So if you want to know leadership, join us. And guess what? We're creating a school community. If you
Yeah.
know about school, you need to join us. We're going to be rocking it. We're probably going to go live this coming week with our school community. So people, look out for it. We're going to basically be sharing it next week. Renee, if you're able to be with us next week, we want to, and I think we're going to be able to have Bethany also with us. The four of us are creating a school community. And I think if the four of us can be here and talk about school next week, that would be a great topic as well.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, you guys, God bless you. And I am super excited for what we're building. Everybody do us a favor. If somebody needs to see this show because they understand that leadership is nothing without the freedom you give it or you demand of it, and make sure you let them know about this show and share this episode with them. God bless everybody.
God bless. Bye.
Peace.
Let's get after this. Hey, hey. Leadership isn't a title. Hey, pressure makes leaders. Unified leadership. Unified leadership.
Pressure makes leaders, fire reveals truth. Forged in the struggle, built to break through. Unified leadership, we stand when it's hard. Different voices, one vision, together we spar. Built through connection, stronger as one. Changing tomorrow by what we've begun.
Unified leadership. Feel the fire ignite. When leaders unite, the future burns bright. Sifu Rafael with the vision and voice. Built through discipline, pressure and choice. Coach T.O. Clay, battle tested and tried, turning trials into purpose, helping leaders rise. Pressure
Doesn't break you,
it reveals you.
you are the steel. Pressure makes leaders.